Hello everyone, welcome to sqadia.com. Today we are discussing cell cycle and we are at the last section where we are discussing the DNA damage arrest. And in this particular section we are going to jump start from the discussion of the mechanisms of controlling the S phase initiation followed by the cell cycle control, and then we are going to have a look on the DNA damage arresting the cell cycle in the G1 phase. So of course, we are going to start off with the S-phase initiation mechanisms that basically are being controlled. So what happens in this particular case, we have RB protein retinoblastoma in this particular case, which is basically causing the E2F protein in an inactivated form by binding to its activated site. So what happens in this particular case, we are talking about the transition of G1 to S phase. So in this particular case, we are going to have the G1 CDKs that are going to play an important functions, and in this case, what they do is they basically cause the phosphorylation in the RB protein, and this phosphorylation would render this particular RB retinoblastoma protein inactive. When this particular protein is being inactive, it renders the E2F protein in an inactive form. So what happens in this particular case, they are going to stimulate the production of the S phase gene transcription. So what happens in this particular case, two or three things are happening. It is going to cause the promotion of the G1 to S cyclin, which is basically in this case cyclin E, and there is also the production of S cyclin, where that particular cyclin is cyclin A. So two things are being done over here. Because the cell is still present in the G1 phase, so there is a need for the requirement of the production of G1 to S cyclin, the cyclins that would help the cell to remove itself from the G1 phase and enter itself into the S phase, first step, and that is being done by cyclin E. The second step is because the cell needs to enter into the S phase, so there is requirement for the synthesis of the cyclins that are present that plays their important functions in the S phase synthesis phase, and that particular is the formation of the cyclin A molecules. So both of these in combine, they are going to cause the activation of the cyclin CDK complexes, which are going to basically result in the DNA synthesis form. So this active S cyclin sends positive feedback loop along with the active G1 to S cyclin CDK to positively regulate the activation of the E2F protein by the inactivation of the retinoblastoma, by the phosphorylation of it under the presence of G1 CDK cyclin complex molecules. So talking about the cell size control in the cell cycle, we have over here what happens in this particular case when the cell is without nutritional cell cycle control. In this particular case, there is no control of the nutrition. For example, there are no such kind of permutations and combinations that cell would understand. There is no such involvement and evolution in the cell cycle control. That what happens in the case when there is low amount of nutrition that is being present to attain a particular cell size. So what happens in this particular case where the cell cycle control is without nutritional control, with the passage of time, as the nutrition is going to be reduced, there is reduction in the cell size, as you can see over here, but the units of time, the time that is being taken by the cell to complete its cell cycle, would remain the same. But what happens in the cases in the more evolved cells, what happens in this particular case, they have a nutritional cell cycle control. So what happens when there is a reduction in the nutrition as shown over here, the cell cycle or the whole cell cycle time is increased, as you can see over here. This particular lapse in the time was taken by the cell to accumulate all the required nutrients to attain that particular same physiology, same size as that of the parent cell, so that there is no variations in the compositions. Talking about the DNA damage arresting the cell cycle in G1 phase, we have over here the DNA damage. The DNA damage can be done by the error in the proofreading capacity of the DNA polymerases. They can be done by an extracellular photons. We are talking about the X-rays or the ultraviolet rays. What happens in this particular case when the X-rays are going to cause the damage to the DNA? The protein kinases are being activated. Now, these activated protein kinases are going to cause the activation of p53 protein, which is basically a housekeeper protein. It's known as the housekeeper protein, plays very important function in the establishment of apoptosis. So what happens is these phosphatase, these kinases, when they are being activated, they are going to cause the activation of the p53, and it's being done by the removal of its inhibitory portion, which is MDM2. When it's being released, it's also caused the phosphorylation and hence the stabilization of the active p53 in this particular case. Now, this is followed by the active p53 is then going to bind with the regulatory region. This particular p53 plays an important functions in binding with the regulatory region of the p21 gene, hence resulting in the transcription of the p21 messenger RNA, and hence that particular p21, which is basically the CDK inhibitory protein, is going to cause the inactivation at this particular stage of the G1-S cyclin, arresting the cell cycle not to enter into the synthesis phase because there was some kind of damage that was being observed. So the cell cycle arrest would occur in the G1 phase, where G1-S cyclin CDK complexes would be terminated, would be rendered inactive. So in this particular slide, we are going to have an overlook of cell cycle control system. What happens starting off with the G1 phase and then moving towards the G1 phase. We are going to discuss the whole cycle. These are the checkpoints that are shown. We have the unfavorable extracellular environment. We have a checkpoint where the DNA damage is being done. We have a checkpoint where extracellular mitogenic stimulation is being done. We have an unreplicated DNA, the DNA damage, and the chromosome unattached to the spindle. So starting off with the G1, we have first of all, the G1 CDK molecule is being stopped, which basically results in the G1-S cyclin synthesis and the S cyclin synthesis. Both of these are being stopped under the presence of the unfavorable extracellular environment, or if there is damage to the DNA, or if there is excess mitogenic stimulation. Both of these are going to cause the upregulation of p53 enzyme. p53 enzyme is then going to cause the check or removal of G1-S transition, the molecules, the cyclin CDK complexes, which played an important function in the transition of the cell from G1-S, that is the G1-S cyclin CDK complexes, and also it also caused the downregulation of by the inactivation of the cyclin CDK complexes by the formation of the P21, which basically was in CKI, a CDK inhibitor protein. So this was the case of the checkpoints that are present in the G1 phase. So if the cell has moved to the G2, to the synthesis phase, so what happens? This synthesis phase is predominant by the presence of the CS cyclin, S phase cyclin CDK complexes. So they can also be blocked by the action of the P53, like we discussed in the previous slide, where we discussed the action of the DNA damage or the action of the unreplicated DNA. Both of these are going to cause the negative regulation of the CDC25, and when the CDC25 are being negatively regulated, there is no activation of mCDK that we have seen in the very first section where we saw how mCDK or the CDK1 complex molecules are being activated by the CDC25, where CDC25 phosphatase basically removes the inhibitory phosphate, hence resulting in the active form of mCDK, so that the mitosis portion begins. So under the presence of the DNA damage, the CDC25 can be inhibited, and when the DNA damage, under the presence of DNA damage or the unreplicated DNA, when the CDC25 is being, of course, checked, negatively regulated or inhibited, there won't be activation of mCDK, and the cell won't enter from the G2 phase into the mitosis phase. And last but not the least, we are going to have an in-depth view of the chromosomal unattachment to the spindle. In this particular case, where APC promoting complex is going to take a leading role in the detachment, where it binds to CDC20 and result in the chop down of the securin molecules, activating the saporace. But what happens is when there is a signal that is being sent to which basically means that the chromosome is unattached to the spindle, there is no proper attachment on the kinetochore microtubules, there is no proper attachment to the spindle, the arrangement is not right, or there can can be any different kind of variations, or there can be mutations. So what happens in this particular case, it is going to negatively down regulate the APC activity, and hence when APC won't be present, there won't be activation of the separase, which is going to basically chop down the bridge between the two sister chromatids, and hence sister chromatids won't be able to migrate towards the opposite pole for the completion of the telophase and initiation of the, of course, cytokinesis. So in this particular section, we discussed the mechanisms of controlling S-phase initiation, moving towards the cell size control in cell cycle, and we saw what are the different mechanisms that are being present for the nutritional control of the cell cycle versus not in the organisms where this particular mechanism is not present. And then we discussed the DNA damage arresting the cell cycle in G1. So that was all for this particular section. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.